Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! That's my buddy Robert. Once in a while I call him Robert. Once in a while. But usually when I'm pissed off at him. And lately he's been really, I don't know. Bob, you better straighten up. You know what I'm saying? Are you still going to rehab? Huh?
Hell yeah!
All right, good boy. All right. This is Captain Boomer coming to you live from the beautiful Twin Cities area where we just keep milking out summer, do we not? We're still milking summer out. And I guess that's okay. But I kind of like when we officially, the weather just, the 50, 55, low 60s for a while. You put on a sweatshirt, light jacket, maybe even first time of the season you get your regular long pants out, stuff like that. But this stuff is kind of crazy because you got 85 one day and you go down, up and down, up, So summer is, the only thing I can think of, and I'm far from a meteorologist, but I did study gynecology for a while. No, I mean, anyway, what the hell was I thinking? But you can't help but think that this is part of a small piece of the big picture, which is global warming. That's, and I can only imagine what this winter is going to be like, man. I'm telling you. Who knows? I mean, we could have one of the mildest winters, and I guess it's because they are getting more mild. I haven't kept track, but if I remember right, the last couple of winters have not been all that devastating. Anyway, so what else are we going to talk about, Bob? Huh? Oh yeah, this let's love our job here. This particular program means besides socks, and I don't care, is simply called Venting Vets Part 3. Yes, and this is it's part 3 because I had a few other things. I even did a little live video probably about 7 years ago about how us Vietnam veterans, me and my brothers, how we get treated still, even to this day. And what I'm about to tell you is not necessarily exactly what's happening, but it is part of what I'm talking about. And you can take it with a grain of salt. You can take it, whatever. But this is what I found out yesterday. In Vietnam, I'm not a combat veteran. I don't pretend to be. Okay, I was fortunate enough to not to get into the crap. Okay, I'm not going to do that and disrespect my brothers who actually did. I was in a pretty safe area, a base, and yeah. But anyway, I was over there for 4.5 months. Here's the deal. The deal is, I had a lot of respect, and I happened to see some of them, and I witnessed them before, but I've never got to be to one of the air shows of my beloved Blue Angels. Right, guys? The Blue Angel, right, Bob?
Hell yeah!
Gotcha, the Blue Angels. Navy Blue Angels, by the way. Anyway, And while I was over there, and Japan too, I happened to see the Blue Angels in what I consider the greatest fighting war machine that ever took to the skies, and that's the Phantom F4, or otherwise known as the F4 Phantom, however you want to spiel it. But anyway, my problem was this. Part of my bucket list, I always wanted for many, many years to have the opportunity just to sit in the cockpit of an F4 Phantom. And as luck would have it, on this story, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. I'm hopping on a plane here in a couple of weeks. I'm going down to North Carolina, Charlotte. And that's where my youngest son has been living. Well, the job he had didn't kind of work out the way he thought. He's coming back home, and that's fine. And the town he was living in is Hickory, North Carolina. I looked up on the on Google or whatever, and I just happened to notice that Hickory has an air museum. And furthermore, they even happen to have an F4 Phantom. Oh my God, I was ecstatic. What are the odds on, well, I'm going to be flying into Charlotte, but hell, Charlotte's only a 45-minute drive from Hickory, 50 minutes maybe. It's under 60 miles. Anyway, what are the odds on that happening? Here's an F4 sitting there. I called him up. I said, wow, man. And I told the wife, man, I am just elated, man. I got a really good chance of sitting in the F4. So I called him up. Told him my situation. I would really love to be able to sit just for 2 minutes inside the cockpit of my beloved F4 Phantom. It's on my bucket list, and you have no idea how much I would appreciate that. So anyway, as luck would have it, now my brothers, you guys, I've got some feedback from you guys, and thank you for your feedback. Some of my brothers, they weren't so neat on the idea, and that's fine too. We all have our own opinion, okay? But here's the deal: they flat ass told me they couldn't accommodate me. They couldn't do it. I told them I live in Minnesota, and I just happened to be coming down there, and I'm telling you, and he gave me the hours and everything before me asking, and everything would have worked out great. But he told me, no, we can't do that, because if we let one person do it, then we have to let for. And these planes, we're trying to keep them restored as long as we can. And another thing, we can't be having guys your age. I'm 71. Guys your age probably getting hurt. Although he didn't mention that, some of my brothers mentioned that, and I understand that to a certain point. Okay, here's my point on the whole mess. An F4 Phantom, to any of my brothers, myself included, that were in Vietnam, means a hell of a lot more than it does to any goddamn civilian. Okay? This is okay. Now I'm getting pissed, but they can't let. And part of the reason was the restoration. They don't want to screw it up. They want to keep it around forever and blah, blah, blah. So what these geniuses did, they welded the cockpit down. They welded it down. Okay, so, so I put out there on Facebook my displeasure, as I have the right to, and I'm still pissed. Anyway, so that's my story, and I explained to some of these guys and this place that says, you know what, I could almost understand it if I was asking you guys to let me sit on top of a 65-year-old million-year-old dinosaur, very fragile, very expensive. You know what I'm saying? Now, take that compared to sitting in a jet that's made out of aluminum, some steel, I suppose. And I tell you one thing, that beautiful aircraft, F4 Phantom, has been through a hell of a lot more tough times then it wouldn't have a 70-year-old, 165-pound man sit in the damn thing for 2 minutes. Hello!
Hell yeah!
God damn it. Do you see what I'm saying? And then another guy said something about, well, at our age we might get hurt and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. I'll sign a goddamn disclaimer. I'll sign a disclaimer. So we all can sign disclaimers, and don't sit there and tell me that you guys, the military I'm speaking, or the government, whatever you want to call them, don't tell me that you guys don't have enough of these jets laying around that maybe you could have. Maybe one on the East Coast, one in the middle of the country, a couple on the West Coast, and just have these military equipment, whether it's a Black Hawk, whether it's a Huey, whether it's an F-4 Phantom, whatever. You mean to tell me you cannot have these accessible for military personnel only? And by the way, you have to prove that you were in the military. And furthermore, they could even fine-tune it and say, you have to prove that you were in Vietnam. I mean, there's ways that they could do this. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm just really pissed off. So Hickory Air Museum in North Carolina, you guys suck. You guys suck. You're just, hey, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, you guys are a disgrace to the military. Whoever served. Yeah. That's a disgrace, I think. Anyway, yeah. So, that sure would have been nice if I could have just sat in that cockpit for a couple minutes. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Here's another thing. You see these guys on news report and stuff. A 95-year-old guy is getting in the cockpit, and not jet so much, but because he flew a P-51 Mustang. Okay, you see it all the time. Robert wants to fly in a World War II plane, and we're going to accommodate him. And everybody's claps and says, "Wow, that's great, that's wonderful," because that's the way it should be. All right. What in the hell are you going to hurt climbing into the cockpit of a jet fighter that's 50 years old? And I understand that too. You could strip it out. You could do whatever you want. Take out all the gadgets. I don't care. I just want to sit in that seat. That's it. What is that hurting? Nothing. I don't quite understand it. Anyway, there you go. I guess I've ranted and raved enough. But they sure as hell could do something to accommodate any veteran. I don't care. And by the way, these people don't understand it, but us Vietnam vets, we're not going to be around much longer. We're not going to be around much longer at the rate we're going. Thanks to the government again. Agent Orange. Anyway, there you have it. I don't know what else to say. I'm distraught at this whole thing. Thank you, Hickory Air Museum in Hickory, North Carolina. Thank you much for nothing, bastards. Anyways, here we go. We're going to move on, right, Bob? Shall we move on?
Hell yeah!
All right, we'll move on. I don't know. If I offended anybody out there, I'm not going to apologize, but I just have to vent. And that's why this segment, my little show today, is called Venting Vets Part 3, because there's a lot of venting. It's just, you could go on with the VA. You could go on with, Vietnam vets dying from Agent Orange and all their claims and all their, the VA benefits. They don't get jack. We don't get jack shit, all this other stuff. It goes on and on. Anyway, so what else are we going to talk about, Bob? Oh, government shutdown. Let's go there. I love that government shutdown.